See, the world is starting to wake up to all this bullshit. Now, y'all heard what that man said. They be beating this girl up after the whistle, bruh. Beating her up, man. And all y'all want to do is tell us, we casual fans, we don't know basketball. This is a physical sport. Man, ain't no physical sport. It's hate and jealousy, bruh. And they be beating that girl up, man. And the WNBA allow this shit, bruh. But like he said, the world's biggest star. But let me guess. He buck dancing. He glazing. He tap dancing. He a coon. Come on, bruh. The world is starting to wake up. The biggest star in poly sports right now, bruh. Y'all letting this girl get done like that. And that's probably why she hurt. And we all know it.
The NBA's silent, but the media isn't hand. Caitlin Clark is at the center of it all. You won't believe how fast the media went from courtside to combat mode. The moment Caitlin Clark took a few hard hits, it was like they suited up whistles, helmets, and full-on protection mode. On the floor, she's being body-checked like it's hockey, and side-eyed like she just crashed someone's spotlight. Meanwhile, headlines are exploding words like dirty, disrespectful, and outrage flying around like confetti. But here's the twist. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's become a dramatic showdown with enough tension to rival a reality show finale. Elbows flying, tempers flaring, and every play sparking a new debate. So now, fans are asking the real question: are we watching a game or tuning into the latest episode of sports drama TV?
Referees ain't gonna do it. Somebody gotta do something, right? But let's head on over to X right now. Pull up this footage, man. Shout out to the homeboy Mike.
Obviously being fouled. Right in the first quarter, Caitlin Clark obviously being fouled. The refs don't call it.
And it's crazy because let me go back there. Because the referee's literally right there. Like, bro, you're right there.
At some point, the definition of physical basketball got completely hijacked. It's like someone tossed out the rulebook and swapped it with a scene from a WWE match. Now, shoulder bumps feel like full-on takedowns, and legal screens are starting to look like criminal offenses. There's a huge difference between tough, competitive play and flat-out goon behavior, but that line keeps getting blurred. And guess who's always at the center of it? Caitlin Clark. Every time she takes the floor, it seems like another elbow is headed her way, and the memo about playing fair, yeah, that one never made it past the locker room.
Why is this happening? And I went back and I was thinking, the Caitlin Clark phenomenon is one that I got wrong. I never really thought that Caitlin Clark would make the difference that she has in college basketball or in the WNBA. There are, the WNBA opening game for Caitlin Clark set all-time records. There are millions of people that never cared about the WNBA at all, that now care because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA.
Let's take a step back. Physical play. Absolutely. That's part of what makes basketball real. It's what separates weekend hoopers from true competitors. You're supposed to feel the contact, the bumps in the paint, the grind under the rim. This isn't Ballet's battle, asking for the WNBA to turn into a luxury spa with cucumber water and zero contact. The game needs grit. It needs fire. But here's the real issue. It's not the physicality. It's when that intensity crosses the line. When playing hard starts looking more like open field tackle drills in the middle of a Target aisle. That's when the game loses its balance.
I can relate to that young lady. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my skin color. Yeah. I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despise. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about it. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't true.
Right.
And
suddenly, the media goes blind. It's like the moment Caitlin Clark hits the floor. Everyone forgets how slow motion replays work. No eyes, no ears, no opinions, just blank stares and awkward silence on sports panels. She gets slammed to the hardwood, and it's like ESPN's playing hide-and-seek. No commentary, no outrage, just another viral clip floating around while the talking heads twiddle their thumbs. Meanwhile, Caitlin's out there getting hit like she's starring in a Mortal Kombat highlight reland. The response? Crickets. Maybe a shrug, like she tripped over her own feet, not got launched into the air.
They need to start finding these women, bruh. Finding them, suspending them, and make an example out of somebody, bruh. We ain't gonna tolerate this shit, homie. We not gonna be tolerating this shit right here. What's that guy's name that's getting ready to come to the NBA? The white dude, I can't think of his name right now. The rookie that's going to Dallas. I guarantee you, man, they is not gonna be letting that dude get treated like Caitlin Clark, bruh. And all the men in the WNBA ain't gonna be jealous and shit neither, bruh. We know what we see, bruh. The problem is this, man. A lot of people don't like Caitlin Clark, bro. They just hate the girl so much, man, that they just can't even when the truth is staring them in their face, they chose to go the other way, bruh. Now that's what you call hate.
Let's rewind to the golden era days of Michael Jordan. Sure, he took his hits. Sometimes he got absolutely mauled out there. But you know what came next? A whistle, free throws, actual accountability. You could bulldoze MJ, be sending him straight to the line, smirking as he cashed in. That's what real officiating looked like. Logic, balance, respect for the game. Now, flash forward to today's WNBA, Caitlin Clark gets body slammed in front of thousands, and the refs, they react with the energy of a DMV clerk counting down to the weekend. No call, no concern, just another play on, and the best part. The moment fans speak up, the self-appointed gatekeepers show up, capes on, ready to defend every missed foul, like it's their patriotic duty. Suddenly, reckless fouls are framed as grit, clotheslines, part of the culture. What's next, brass knuckles at tip-off, branded as team chemistry. If this is how we define toughness now, we're not evolving the game, we're parodying it.
But with all that being said, you know, the WNBA referees has been having issues with getting these calls right when it comes to Caitlin Clark and the Fever, bruh. And I'm telling you, we have another case of that. And shout out to all the fans that, you know, put these TikToks together, put these videos together, kind of, you know, breaking down everything that has happened with the WNBA referees, because we have another game and we have another situation where WNBA referees failed to make the right calls against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. But then people want to get mad when Sophie Cunningham pretty much did what she did.
Let's just call it what it is. Some of these hits Caitlin Clark is taking would be felonies if they happened anywhere outside an arena. If she were someone else, we'd be drowning in panel discussions, talk show interviews, maybe even an Oprah special about the importance of protecting women in sports. But Caitlin, she's too talented, too popular, and let's be honest, a blonde for the current narrative to know what to do with her. So, instead of justice, we get cheap shots, dressed up as gritty defense. If physicality had a legal team, they'd be filing defamation suits right now. And the wild part, Caitlin isn't even asking for a soft whistle. She likes tough basketball. She wants real competition, not pirouettes and fairy dust. But it's hard to compete when you're dodging shoulders like it's a round of dodgeball. There's a difference between testing a player's toughness and trying to send them to the dentist. Somehow, a whole section of fans and media forgot that. It's like everyone skipped Basketball Fundamentals 101 and enrolled in petty fouls for dummies. Instead, and here's the real kicker, if your sense of humor is twisted and runs on chaos, you'll appreciate the irony. The league profits from every hit she takes. Every shove, every fall, every viral clip fuels debate shows and quick takes with the depth of a kiddie pool. They cash in on her bruises, then tell her to shake it off and smile for the cameras.
Hype and all the videos that everyone on social media has me watching, a lot of clips from the WNBA right now too, and it's absolutely crazy to me to see the types of fouls and the lack of calls that are having on them from these refs that the players are doing. They're just straight hacking each other. And like, we wouldn't even allow that like at our kids' games that we go to watch, let alone in the NBA. And it's just wild to me that you have somebody that took stadiums which only had like 7,000 people in them to attend live games to completely packed and tripling the ticket prices.
The same media that once called Caitlin Clark overhyped are now using close-ups of her black eye to get clicks, tear her down, then cash in. That's how the cycle works. And the refs, with cameras everywhere, you'd expect better. But when Caitlin gets slammed to the floor, there's no whistle, no foul, just silence. If she shows frustration, suddenly she's the problem. But what is she supposed to adjust to? Ignored fouls? One-sided calls? A rule book that vanishes when she has the ball? Let's be real. Jealousy is in the air. Some players don't see her as a teammate, they see her as a threat. Instead of improving their game, they go at her, physically and mentally. Still, Caitlin delivers. She scores. She fills arenas, and every hit she takes only adds to her story. The league wanted attention. Now, they've got it. But instead of protecting their biggest draw, they let this keep happening. So yeah, call it physical play if you want, but when fans start asking if this is basketball or a wrestling show, don't act surprised. And the next time Caitlin's on the floor again, maybe the question shouldn't be, can she handle it? Maybe it should be, Why is this still happening?
The Caitlin Clark effect continues to go wild. We are witnessing a cultural force that has not been seen since Tiger Woods. Let's talk about the effect her teammate has gotten over the last couple weeks. Sophie Cunningham defended her Fever teammate last week in a scuffle against the Mercury, in response to what many people would consider a bit more hazing than usual for Caitlin Clark over the last year and a half. Next, let's look at the top followed WNBA athletes in the league right now. Just in the last week since she defended her teammate, she has now gained over 1 million followers collectively. By the end of this week, she'll probably be top 4. Now, we don't have official figures for TikTok, but she is at 1.3 million followers on TikTok now.
And while we're on the topic of uncomfortable truths dressed in stripes and wrapped in missed calls, let's give a standing ovation to the referees, the real headliners of this ongoing spectacle. Only, instead of most valuable players, they're more like masters of vanishing penalties. Because the moment Caitlin Clark touches the ball, it's like the rulebook clocks out early for lunch. She drives into the paint, gets flattened in front of a national audience, and the officials, they just wave it off like they're guarding. A museum exhibit? Nothing to see here? At this point, the no calls are almost impressive. There's been more physical contact in Caitlin's last few possessions than in a full week of NHL hockey. And yet the refs act like it's performance art, arms flying, bodies hitting the deck, and not a single whistle in sight. It's like they're officiating from a Zen garden, fully at peace. Noise-canceling headset and all, while the rest of us are watching full-speed collisions in slow motion.